Hello and welcome to the breakdown. You're on ThePapare.com. This is where we look back at the last 4 games over the weekend in the Dialog Rugby A Division League, and there was going to be a crunch game this weekend, and it crunched all right. We'll tell you exactly what happened there, Sabir. But let's first look at the derby match that was on over the weekend. This was a game that used to be one of the games that everybody used to clamor to go for, CR versus CH. The crowds have dwindled a little bit, but didn't stop CR. Probably a second string side that CR fielded, but still managed to get 62 points against one drop goal from Rohit Rajapaksa, who had a pretty decent game, I must say.
Yes, indeed, and also CH, compared to the last few weeks, they have improved quite a bit. Chanak. Even they had few faces, and they didn't have the finishers because they went to the opposite territory. They break few lines. Only 4 tries CR scored, but they missed few penalties to put some early pressure. So they had some possibility to score a bit more, but CR&FC from the second half itself, they scored 6 tries, and Khalid Di Costa playing really well, and good to see Riza Mubarak also nailing few penalties, conversions rather.
Yeah, Riza playing in the fly half position. It's a position that he hates to play. I've been telling him for years that that's where he should play, but he hates to play there, but he still managed to come in and do a job, and he did it very well, I think, and it was good to see guys like Anurag Herath get on the score sheet as well. And for me, the guy who really stood out for CR were the 2 props, Samir Fajuddin and Charana Chamikara. I thought they were really good. Fajuddin held a few scrums that were crucial as well, and Chamikara, apart from his scrummaging, he's really dynamic in the loose. So if he's a guy that can really be built on for the CR team to go places. But the try scorers, apart from those 2, Khalid Di Costa, Randita Varnapura with 2 tries, Rehan Silva, Chamikara got 2 tries, Tariq Sali, Avishka Heenpalla came off the bench to score a try, and Anurag Herath as well. 5 conversions from Riza, and Samuel with 1 conversion, and Rohit Rajapaksa 1 drop goal, a well taken drop goal for CH&FC to prevent them from not troubling the scorers. So in the end, a good run out for CR, and they played a lot of different combinations. They played 2 different midfielders. They played Rehan Silva and Kushan Indunil, and there's no sign that that can't be the combination for them going forward, because I thought Kushan Indunil had a good game as well. So a few things for Coach Ben McDougall to think about.
Indeed, and also Kushan Indunil got a yellow card for a high tackle. That's a nasty blow, and also 2 yellow cards in the first half, Shanaka, but it's not accepted, especially when you're playing CH&FC.
Yeah, I think they need to come to terms with this. I think all the players need to come to terms with it. They've been tackling a certain way, and now even if a player is falling into the tackle, it's your responsibility to make sure you don't hit them high and you don't swing your arms around. So I think that's a way that a lot of school kids have learned to tackle now, with just that swinging arm, and that needs to go, and it'll take a bit of time. There will be a few yellow cards, but hopefully it will happen.
And also we had another game, that's Air Force versus Police Sports Club. Mind you, Air Force did beat Police in a away game, but this time around Police leading 8 points to nil. What happened in the second half?
Well, I think Police just thought that they had won that game, and they just relaxed. I don't think they have what it takes to go the full 80 minutes, whereas Air Force is a much fitter side, and they were always going to come back in the second half, Sabir. They're much fitter than the Police team, and the way that these guys play their positive rugby, I'm not surprised that they came back to win that game.
Let's have a look at the try scorers up in this game. For Air Force, it's Supun Madhusankar, 1 try, Dinesh Veeraratna, 1 try, Nuwan Pereira, 1 penalty and 1 conversion, and for the point scorers for Police, Mohammad Afzal, Ramesh Acharige and Rajisa Sansoni, 1 conversion. So that's 1 penalty rather. So those are the points. In fact, in the first half, Shanaka, Rajisa Sansoni missed like 8 points, 2 penalties and 1 conversion, but you can't really blame the kicker, especially in the Air Force ground, because sometimes the wind comes from one direction.
Yeah, it is difficult, and I don't understand why kickers don't get out onto the park an hour earlier at that Air Force ground, and why they're not kicking from an hour earlier before the rest of the team gets out. So you watch any international game, even if you're the best kicker in the world, they're out there. Even if it's their home ground, they're out there and they're practicing their kicks. They know how important that stuff is, and I see very few place kickers in Sri Lanka doing that.
And also we had the another game, that's Havelocks versus Army. That's in the same ground, Air Force ground in Ratmalana. Next up we'll be playing Army's home game in Diagama Stadium. In that game, once again, it's a very good game, but Havelocks could have scored more, 2 more tries which they missed just in the try line inside the whitewash, where Senal Dias making another knock on that game. But I think overall Havelocks did play really well. They had lots of possession, but too many unforced errors by Army, so many knock-ons, they cost the game.
Yeah, I think Army are guilty this season of trying a little too hard. I think they need to just be a little bit more patient, Sabir, because they've got some excellent patterns. They've got some great players who know what to do. They've got guys who can change the game. Their halves combination is really good. Manoj, their captain at number 8, is really good also. And they have some game breakers outside as well. So if they can just hang on to the ball for a few more phases, I think this Army team is going to be really good. But unfortunately, coming up against a defense like Havelocks, you know that you're hitting that wall all the time. So you're just trying that magic pass. You're trying something to just try and unlock that defense. And that's where they made the mistake. That's why so many knock-ons.
Let's have a look at the try-point scorers in this game. For Army, it's Ishara Danushka, Asoka Jalal, the veteran and the former captain, and Iranga Aryapala, also the winner, scored 1 try each, and Gayan Salinda with a conversion. To Havelock Sports Club, 17 in the first half they scored, and it's 29 points at the end. Try scorers Nishan Pera with 2, Chamara Dabare with 2, Kevin Dixon with a try, and Duraj Pera with 2 conversion. And Nishan Pereira's try, that individual brilliance was absolutely brilliant. So as Kevin Dixon's first try, both tries came inside their own red zone.
And it's good to see that, Sabir. It's good to see because Havelocks do have a lot of runners from broken field. They've got guys like Mithun Hapugoda on the bench. They've got Chamara Dabare. You've got Sandun Herat, Nishan. You've got so many guys, Dulaj Pereira also, who can do some real damage. And it's good to see them finally coming into the game. What I'm a little surprised about the Heavy's performance was that I didn't see any of the forwards getting in on the try scoring action, and that's kind of new for me, for this Havelocks team, because that's where they're strong. And I'm surprised that they didn't manage to get on, but it just shows that where the gaps opened for Army was outside the forwards and outside the fringes. So Heavies has what it takes to destroy a team up front and out wide. If they can just get that halves combination going, and if they can get the ball slick going both ways, I think they're going to be pose real problems to Kandy.
Yes, Sudham Suryachi of Havelocks, he's got an injury, so Rahul De Silva starting this game, and he's executing really nicely. He's marshalling his forwards and the backs. That's a plus point, especially using his left foot box kick.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'd like to see Rahul start. I'm no grouse against Sudham Suryachi. I think he's a good player, but I think Rahul is head and shoulders above him. And if he's match fit, if he's fit enough to play the 80 minutes, I think he really should start, especially against a team like Kandy.
And we had final game in the week 10 of Dialog Rugby League. That's at Nittawela grounds. Kandy versus Navy. It's a very good encounter, but Kandy just dominating the Nittawela victory.
Well, I think you have, there's one man of the match, and that's probably going to be the Kandy crowd, Sabir, that 16th man, because you could see Navy were under severe pressure. The only guy that didn't look like he was under pressure was Danushka Pereira, because he's played at this ground so often. And he's a former Kandy man, so he knew what to expect. But you could see the rest of his teammates not really coping in the same way as he did, and that showed on the field. And Nivanka Prasad made that big mistake in the early stages of the game. Let Kandy in, and once Kandy have their foot on your throat, they're never going to take it off. So that's exactly what happened to Navy of the day. They just made too many mistakes.
That's right, too many mistakes and too many decision-making errors. We saw Chanaga Chandimal that kicking straight away to the Richard Dharmapal, and he made few yards. He was brilliant. He was from a different planet on that day. And also Gayan Veeratna, nice to see his running angle. He's straightening up every time he gets the ball, and he's playing 80 minutes. He's played that running game compared to last 2 or 3 weeks rugby he played. Also good to see Fazil Manuja coming in, making some good tackles at the first, and then he's using all his experience, and then under the post try as well. So Kandy, more or less, their set piece also interesting. Shanaga lineouts, they started with 4-man lineout, and once Shehan Lema Patran gets the ball, and then the forwards come and they try to get a driving maul penalty so they can gain more yards. It really worked well.
Yeah, I think this Kandy team, Sabir, is unrecognizable from the first round. It's almost a different team, although they've got the same guys in the team sheet. And you've got players trying harder, you've got guys of the quality of Fazil coming in, and he's always been a brilliant defensive player. Everyone talks about his attack, but his defense is also brilliant. And I think Roshan Veeraratne has upped his game as well. And as you said, the forwards have been really good. You've got Suru Anthony and you've got Shehan Pathiran, two of the best all-round forwards, I think, in the country. And if you've got them playing well, then it's very difficult to stop those guys, especially with the battering ram like Buwaneka Udangamua that you've got. And these classy guys with these silky skills, they can run, they can pass, they can catch, they can tackle. So if you've got those three guys playing well, everything else just falls into place. And of course, then you've got Danushka Ranjan, who destroys people whenever he catches the ball. So Kandy will take some stopping, I think, and it'll be up to Havelocks to stop them.
Yes, it's not easy task for Havelocks because they have to play CR, they have to play Navy, and then only they have to Kandy in the finals, maybe final week. And not forgetting the play of Lahiru Herat, the Navy centre Shanak. He was outstanding on that day. Shanak, he has improved. He played for CWW Kannangada last year, and so as Supun Dilshan in the wing. He beat Gayan Veeratna, he beat Richard Dharmapal, and also lately Tanuja Maduranga also coming and scoring that try.
Yeah, and I think that's something we've noticed. We've pointed this out at one of our games and said how many under 20 players do Navy have on their bench, and that's really good to see because they're obviously a team that promises a lot for the future. And these guys, they will learn from going and playing in Nittawela. They'll know what it's like, and the next time they go back, they won't be under as much pressure. But guys like Lahiru Herat and Supun Dilshan, it's nice to see them getting an opportunity against the best players in the country, guys like Gayan Veeraratna, guys like Danush Karanjan, and then they know they have what it takes. It'll just take them a couple more years. But it's really good to see that kind of Tanuja Maduranga, who scored that all-important try for the under-20s against Malaysia. So he knows what it's like to come in under pressure as well. So hopefully these boys will blossom.
It was 28 points to 10 in the first half. Just before the halftime, Buna Kodangama was sin bin. So Navy had the momentum of scoring another try. Penalty after penalty, they just took a scrum, it didn't work well, and then quick tap and run by Dulanjana Vijay Singh. Unfortunately, the clock on the 40th minute, but they could not score. If they could have scored, it could be something, sometimes a more good finish just before the halftime for Navy. I think they just missed a trick there.
Yeah, I think the game management was a bit of an issue for them, but they were facing a big deficit, Sabir. So an 18-point deficit at that time, they were probably needed to go for the try because I don't think they had the confidence in their attack that they could break this, because I was watching that game. Kandy came out really wanting to make a statement, and when you're in the opposition, sometimes you feel it. You know when the opposition is just on their game, and I guess they just tried a little bit too hard on the day, and it was a really good win for Kandy.
I'm not sure what did Shan Lema Patina told Yaqub Ali for this particular pass. He should have given at the first place. He was trying to put the name on his score sheet, but look at this. Shan Lema Patina had to work hard to score this try. Your thoughts on that?
Lema's used to supporting and scoring, so I think when he knows a prop gets the ball, he knows he's not going to get it too soon. So I don't think he would have had too much problems. If it was a close game, yeah, Lema might have had a few things to say, but I think he enjoyed this one.
So those are the 4 matches updates from the breakdown segment for this week, and we have 4 interesting games coming up on Saturday. Kandy versus Police. Kandy will be travelling to Police Park, and also we have Navy versus CR&FC. That would be an easy game for Navy. That's at Longdon Place. We are bringing you live the Police Kandy game, and also on Sunday CR versus Army. That's at Longdon Place as well, and also Havelocks taking Air Force. That's on Saturday game, 6:30 under lights predictions.
Yeah, it should be interesting, Sabi. That CR Army game is going to be probably the closest one of the weekend, I would think, and I don't think Police have what it takes to trouble Kandy over the course of 80 minutes. They'll probably cut them wide open outside the centres. So let's wait and see how it goes.
So that's all we have for the breakdown segment, and until next week, myself Sabir Kader signing off with Shana Kamal Singh.